Welcome everyone to Throwback Gaming's Let's Play of Our Life Beginnings and Always. This game involves us living in a small town called Sunset Bird, and on, I don't know if it's the first day of summer or somewhere close to that time, we end up meeting a new neighbor, which is this little boy. He gets to move here, and we get the opportunity to befriend him. But we get to choose how we interact with them. We can choose to be friendly, we can choose to be unfriendly, or we can choose to have a crush on him and stuff. And based on how we treat him throughout the story affects how things turn out as we grow up. It's a visual novel, and it's broken up in different stages of life based on how old we are. And I played the demo and I really liked it, so I want to play the full version now that it's out. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's jump in, shall we? Hello? Oh, it's loading. It's been slow. Alright, I'm going to warn you guys. The tutorial is really long, but I want to go through it because it helps explain how the game works. So if you don't want to do this part, please skip ahead of the video to afterwards. Alright, so let's jump into the tutorial. Why can't I see that? Oh. It's like, where's the options for yes to no? Welcome to Our Life Beginnings and Always. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu to learn about everything in detail. To start off, the game is divided into 3 periods of time called steps. Step 1 is childhood, Step 2 is adolescence, and Step 3 is teenaged. So this we're like 8, this one we're like, I guess 12, and this one we're like 16. Our life is further divided into vignettes, or whatever that word is, which takes place during specific periods of time called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely, so they're like bonus episodes. You can move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting that summary is ending. Step 1 to 3 has 5 moments in each, and there can be more by purchasing DLCs, which are out now, and some might be released later. A lot happens over the years as time goes by in regards to the character you play as. You can determine nearly everything about the main character, including their name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interests, skills, their relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, and eye color can't be altered when set, which makes sense. Much of your main character's basic traits are determined on a character creation screen. As the MC grows up, more options become available. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a new name. Selecting a name. You can choose any name you like, or you can pick a present one. Preset options are called voice names because they will be voiced by the romantic lead. You will get to hear him say your name as you play throughout the story. Only the default name, Jamie, is included in the basic game. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free voice name expansion DLC. If you're not interested, then don't add it. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was created by someone who supported this project. That's cool. Lastly, you can change the spelling of a name after selecting the voice option. And there's an example. On the character creation screen, there's a cute doll you can decorate to get an idea what your MC looks like with the different traits you put together. Not all the things you decide about the MC will appear on the doll. The script prefers what you decided for the main character. Our life has a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to the other sprites. You only see them as a decorative doll on the character creation screens. There's also a second type of special MC screen called Interest and Comfort. Unless you get DLCs, the game has one love interest, Cove Holden. He grows up with the main character, and the interest/comfort screen is crucial for determining how things play out. Interest level is how much you like him. There are 4 levels: disinterest, fond, crush, and love. Love is only available during Step 3, and if you were fond or in crush, Step 2. Comfort determines how you generally react or think when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will affect the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest / comfort during the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level can only stay the same or increase. Your current level will be the newest, lowest option in the screen in the future. For example, if you chose Fawn in Step 1, disinterest would be gone from Steps 2 and 3, making Fawn the bottom level option for you. Interest level has an impact when it comes to physical interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and choose a close relationship, you can choose to touch him, and Cove will occasionally interact with the MC in a lighthearted or comforting way. But starting in Step 3, touching can become more romantic or suggestive if you're at crush or love. To make sure things go nicely with that, there will be an extra choice to determine the initiative level and a bonus mini tutorial that goes with the choice to explain the feature in more detail. Basically, even if you choose you like Cove, the game won't force you to act on those feelings, like in real life. You can always choose to not get together with him, choose not to accept or give romantic gestures, but if you do date him, you can't break up with him later on. Interest and comfort gets the basics down, but the choices that appear throughout the game decide what actually happens between you two. And it isn't only the main character who's impacted by your decisions. Cove grows up and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experienced helps shape who he becomes. Step 2 and 3, Cove's personality, appearance, and interests will vary based on what happened to him in the previous step. It's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions end up changing him. You can try to guess as you go along. Or if you prefer, you can design him your own way by using the Cove creator in Steps 2 and 3. Making the choices you want is always more important than choosing something because you feel like you have to in order to get a certain result. When a choice appears, you usually see if you hover over the option, it gives you a color: yellow, blue, or green. The colors aren't related to specific points or effects. They're only there to give you an insight of the tone or the emotion of the choice, since text alone can be read in more than one way. So true. Blue tends to be casual or straightforward, yellow is more emotional or reactive, and green is less certain or committed. Though there are hundreds of options in our life, and not every choice menu falls in that line, a pattern. Picking one color every time does not give the gameplay a benefit. Only stick to a certain type if that's what you happen to like, otherwise switch between them freely. So basically, if you pick the same color every time, it doesn't be like, okay, you're guaranteed to get this path. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow, pursue romance right away, or never romance the love interest. Be disagreeable or amiable, none of these will lead to a bad ending. Just different endings. You're welcome to enjoy the events and shape the story without reservation. And then, if you like, you can play again and try something new. There's only more content to discover. We hope you have a nice time with our life. Thank you for playing. Alright, we're finally done. Well, we're almost done with the tutorial. Now I have to make the character real quick. So I'll try not to take too long with this. I'm gonna go with round. Olive, tan. Yeah, I guess we'll go with tan. Where is the blue eyes? Red, pink, purple, blue. There we go. Choppy. Curled, flowy, short. Yeah, we'll go with that one, I think. Right. Yeah, I think we'll go with the short one. No back. We want brown hair. Brown. He. Next page. We want freckles. We don't want on our nose, though. Just our cheeks. Next. Want freckles all over our body. And we want pants and shirts. Although, if you like skirts and dresses, more power to you. I don't judge. But I personally wear shirts and pants. And I'll wear a hat. Okay, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Except I wear glasses, but I don't like how the glasses look in this game. So, there we go. Summer and Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came from both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of summerless vacation with it. Okay, so it's the beginning of summer vacation. During the summer, your moms, that's right, we have 2 moms in this game, how it's so progressive, I love it, didn't like you wandering too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew that the area was pretty well. Oh, you knew the area pretty well. Yeah. That includes the people. Families came and went to Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids that waved when they passed their stores. Sounds like a really nice place. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. You really didn't get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyways. Because it's nice, it's friendly, it's polite, you know. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. Or you were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. Well, I feel like if you see them all the time, then we should say hello. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from and hope to visit those places one day. That sounds like me. Want to travel someday. Maybe. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. Okay. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he were a real person or a statue that magically sprung up from the ground overnight. I love that. I love those people that just pop up as statues overnight. It's the best. Whoever or whatever he was, you've never seen him before. Stranger danger. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you did not recognize really stood out. I guess that makes sense if you're in a small town. You see someone that you've never seen before, you're like, I don't know how I feel about this. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So are we in the suburbs? So, for you, not noting a total stranger was setting off a lot of red flags. I know, stranger danger. Your mom's had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't been listening at the time. That sounds right. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. Wrong. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even when you don't know them. That's true, but you still don't know them, so you don't know if you can trust them or not. And the third one, you remember that it's okay to run away if you don't feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, you don't need to worry about being polite then. Yes, if I had kids, this is what I would tell them. I'd be like, I don't care if you're gonna be rude, if they're making you uncomfortable and you don't feel safe, run, scream, do whatever you gotta do to get out there and make as much noise as possible so you draw attention to yourself. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious. Stranger danger. For real. But you were pretty impressed. Interested, not impressed. Interested. You wanted to get to know more what was going on. Curious. I can see that. Or whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. I feel that. Let's be curious. You slowed down, your eyes remaining fixated on the man. There was a split second where your eyes met and you knew he was aware he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Oh no, got caught. Hey! Hey you! You raised your eyebrows at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? I mean, probably. As long as he ain't trying to kidnap us. Excuse me. The man stood up and started making his way towards you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. I guess we'll be nice for now. Let's smile at him. The man gives you a grin back of his own. Do you live around here? What's your name? Stranger danger. He's trying to find out info about us. He wants to know if he can kidnap us. You look the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. Relaxed? He's got his arms folded. That's not relaxed. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. Okay, there we go. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. I live right there. My name's Jamie. Or you continued to say nothing. We'll say we live here. That's great. Why is that great? He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. Okay. Oh no, he's trying to bribe us. Start screaming, kid. He reached to his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he gave it to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Kid, you start screaming. This dude's shady. Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have let me start over. He's embarrassed now. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. If that's even possible. I have a son. His name is Cove, about your age. Cove? That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water, or you thought it was pretty cool. We'll say it's cool. I mean, it's different. You never met anyone with that name. Probably not. I've never met anybody with that name either. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. Okay, maybe this guy isn't a complete creep. Maybe he just bought the house next door, across the street, and wants to be friendly. You must be Jamie Last, right? That's kind of funny. I met your moms earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him. Okay, we are 8. Cool. So, he shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him. Okay, I feel concerned since you're trying to pay me to be his friend. It's kind of sad and kind of suspicious at the same time. But you gotta keep it secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man, you kind of felt sorry for Cove, or did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? I know, this is an important question. I feel bad for him, but I also wonder if this is how this works. Let's see what this one says. Had your moms done that for you and Lizzie? The thought made you frown. I know, it's pretty sad to think that your parents would pay to have you become friends with somebody. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? What is this? Is this deal or no deal? You took the bill. You didn't want the money, or you ran away. We don't take the money. No, thank you. Sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely. Are you sure? It won't be so bad. Even if it's just for the summer, that'd be enough. It only made this sound more strange to you. Why did it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he took the bill back into his back pocket and changed the request. I get it, you don't have to. Would you be more comfortable with he and I coming for a normal visit? No money involved? Yeah, like normal people? Yeah, I want to meet him. Okay, you can do that. I guess. You have to ask my moms, or you didn't answer the man. Yeah, I want to meet him, but we have to ask permission first. Make sure this dude's actually legit. His smile got bigger again, his eyes crinkled at the sides. Of course, they invited us over earlier, but I'd like to ask you too. Then I guess you can. I'll bring him over by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but... well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said it, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, tell him he can come over. He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Sure thing. I can try or okay. I'll say I can try. You nodded, not totally certain you'd find Cove, but willing to look. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on his head, paused before doing so, and then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group they are. Now I better go too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting around here. I thought he might come back, and that's not the important. I have to go. Thanks again, Jamie. So much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Step 1, first sight. The chirping of the crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves, or you didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand that got absolutely... Let's go with this one. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen a flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try and relax, but couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting on the top of the hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him for a minute longer, feeling a bit like you found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have green hair, that's so anime, wavy brows, huge glasses, pink casts, or sad frowns. Well, wonder who this could be. We'll say green hair. But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. That's another water characteristic. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hi. Hey, Space Cadet. Or are you lost? We'll just say hi. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balled into fists at his sides. Aw, he's been crying. Poor buddy. It's okay. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaked with the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man said earlier had stuck out to you. Cove? His eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? I met your dad. I'm all-knowing or lucky guess. We'll say we met your dad. Oh, he didn't like that too much, did he? So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep, you can't own a hill. Or you shook your head. Oh, we can shake our head. While doing so, you also picked at a strain of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thumb, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered the rocky that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here, or why did your family move? Let's ask why he's here. A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. Oh, what is it, buddy? My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. Oh, his parents got divorced. It's not your fault, buddy. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flooded cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping them on his eyes with the back of his hand before putting them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. He misses his mom. I'm sorry, your dad seems kind of nice. You'll either you just have to get used to it or stop crying. We'll say we're sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up for another long crying fit. He felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from the way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Jamie! Cove! Kids, where'd you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clicking in his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry I have to. It will be okay. It will be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not going to be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. I mean, he's the one who took you. She gave you up. So he's obviously the more responsible parent. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked at the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away, rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out first, you waited silently with him, or you tried to convince him. We'll wait silently. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you hear Cove's dad even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Jamie, you're here after all. We've been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met our new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry, or Cove didn't want to go home just yet. We'll just say we were sitting in the grass. Okay, so this is Mommy, and this is Mom. Okay, thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You look over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. No. Yes, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thank you much for finding him. I really don't know about this neighborhood. Good thing Jamie knows the whole area as well. Absolutely. We should get home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what. We'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff? Or it sounds like words? Or you nodded, ducking your head down. Sure, can I show him my stuff? Of course. Okay then. Both your moms laughed, the sounds overlapping to a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Alright, let's do this real quick. Relaxed indifference, direct indifference, or, yeah, we'll do relaxed. And interest. Let's start off with relaxed fondness. Yes. And we're going to stop here, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to know when new videos come out, and I'll see you next time when we see our play date with Cove. Can't wait. Till then, peace out.